Hey, welcome to another great episode of the Real Deal Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Courtney Harden. We are still in the series 2026 Women's History Month series. This is the first week of it. I've had a couple of incredible guests that we've highlighted. Again, this series is all about Women's History Month and highlighting and giving a lot of credit and props to the incredible women that in sports, media, business, journalism, content creation. Like I said, I got a great guest list of this entire month, and I'm bringing back a returning guest. It's been a long time since she's been back on the show, so it was only right to get her on this Women's History Month series. So, but before I bring her in, I'll hit my music. Let's get it. Once again, welcome to another great episode of the Real Deal Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Courtney Harden. As I said at the top, this is the 2026 Women's History Month series. This is the end of the first week, so got a great guest here that I'm highlighting. This woman has done a lot of incredible work within the digital content creation and sports reporting space. But before I bring her on, you can follow the show on all the podcast platforms, whether it's Apple, Spotify. We're also on YouTube, BS3 Network, BS3TVLive.com, also Spreaker, BS3 Network, Roku channel, wherever you find podcasts. If you type in The Real Deal with Courtney Harden, we're there, iHeartRadio as well. And you can find me on all the social media platforms. I'm everywhere and all those social media platforms, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. That's the one where I'm in TikTok. That's where I'm most active. I also have a Blue Sky as well. All right. Well, let me bring in this incredible guest back on the show. She has relaunched her podcast, Behind the Sports Show, which she's the host of and the creator. We're going to get into all that in the relaunch. She relaunched it in February. As I said, she's a content creator, sports reporter, host, podcast host, does a little bit of everything. So welcome back to the show, Giovanna Scroggins.
So good to be here. So good to be back. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for coming back. I know we did a show last year, I believe, and that was the first one, and there was an incredible conversation, and a lot has changed over the year, so we're gonna get into that. But welcome to the show, and welcome to my thank you for getting with the invite for accepting the invite for my Women's History Month series 2026.
Yeah, no, seriously honored to even be a woman in sport. I think right now women are dominating, even though, there's
Yes.
a lot of narrative around certain things, but there is a lot of women right now in the sports industry and in the space. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because the girls are killing it. So
Yes, they are. And I'm always a big advocate, and as much as I can, help and highlight, I do it all the time, and that's what I'm about. And giving a platform to share anything you want
Mhm.
to promote, or just in general, just giving big props to the women that are dominating in this space. So I'm always glad to do my part as well. As small part as it is, I'm always glad to highlight the incredible women that are killing it, as you said. So
Yeah.
that's that's always one of been my biggest things to do, is highlight a lot of tell their stories, different women in this space, that just to share their stories to others. So that's definitely what I love to do. So let's catch up a little bit. As you said, it's been about a year, even though we talk on occasion outside of this, outside of recording. But how's everything been going with you? Talk a little bit about what you've been up to over this past 6, 7 months.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a journey for sure. I feel like ending 2025 was really cool, but also kind of like down. Was out of my full-time job, and I had a lot of time to reflect going into 2026. And I was like, okay, let me go on this journey of being a, I hate using the word, but influencer,
Right,
and
right.
start posting content consistently because I have so much and I feel like I have a lot to say and I wanted to start using my platform and my voice. So I started posting little videos on social media at the start of the new year. And that kind of brought me to like, why am I not doing BTS? Why is it not a thing anymore? And that brought me to relaunching the show. So we relaunched officially the relaunch rebrand February 17th.
Mm.
And it looks a lot different because BTS used to just be audio only and it was on the radio station. But now we're doing video. We have a new intro video. We're
Right.
posting a ton more stuff on our Instagram and we're pumping out content from all of the amazing guests that we're doing every single day. So it looks and feels a lot different, but it's still the same show at the core. And 3 episodes since February 17th in thus far. And it's been a whirlwind. And I have some really amazing guests already lined up for the rest of the month. And
Yeah.
I'm kind of breaking it up into seasons now. So we're going to do season 1. We're on season 2 right now. I'll do a
Okay.
17 episode season, and then we'll take a break a little bit, come back and keep doing 17 episodes per season. So I'm really excited that, and it's been a good time, like I said, to reflect and kind of come back bigger and better.
Yeah, I like that, and as you said, it's different now, it's the relaunch,
Hmm.
and, you said you're doing video now instead of just audio through the radio, station as well, because you were on iHeartRadio, right? It was
Yes. So
iHeart
I
Women's
was
Sports Network, right?
Yeah, I was working
Mhm.
for Sports Byline USA. They're based out of San Fran, for a while, and I was a contributor and reporter for them. And then that kind of turned into doing BTS on their network. And then unfortunately, things didn't work out. So then kind of was out of that. But again, it's after reflecting, I'm like, this show is so good, and I had so many people come up to
Yeah.
me and they're like, what happened to BTS?
Where's the
And I'm
show?
like, you know
Yeah.
what, I honestly don't know what happened. So that was like validation in itself that
Yeah.
what I was doing, people were like tuned into and were listening to, because it's hard for sometimes us podcasters and things like that. It's like you get the comments on TikTok like, "Oh, tax podcast equipment, why are you doing this?" Da, 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 da.
Mm.
But just again, I keep saying it, reflecting and realizing that the show was of value to someone, and if I touch somebody's one person doing the show, then that'll be plenty for me. So.
Yeah, I agree, 100%, and I'm glad that you, brought it back, 'cause I was thinking the same thing. It was like, you really said you were doing the show weekly,
Mhm.
and but I know things, time and, you gotta have the time to do it, editing, all
Yeah.
those things, and you don't wanna, thinking, "Oh, am I doing too much? Don't wanna burn out," all those things. I've been through all of that, and
Yeah.
but as you said, you take some time off because, you gotta take sometimes you do have to take time off, whether it's sometimes you get forced to do it, and other times sometimes you do it for yourself, just for your own mental and physical and things like that. So but now you said you relaunched it and everything too. But talk about it, behind the sport, the podcast, what it focuses on. As you said, you interview a lot of different people, just like this podcast too. But you interview a lot of different people, from athletes to um people in media, things like that, people that have voices in this space. Talk about what the relaunch is, or talk about what behind the sport, the podcast, what it entails.
Yeah, so basically, Behind the Sports goal as a show is to educate people on all the different avenues that are involved in the sports industry. So,
Mm.
from the people that stripe football fields to the people that are behind the camera reporting to the people that have made a career into the sports industry in an untraditional way. Our first 3 episodes like clearly define like the untraditional path into the sports industry, and I was so excited when I got the response from our first guest on BTS. He goes by the name of Carolina Mike. He went viral this season for having the song if you had $150,000, and he's a huge diehard Carolina Panthers fan. And so
Yeah.
the song went viral on TikTok, blew up. Everyone was like, "Is this guy serious?" And he was very serious. He talks about this in the interview, but he was so serious that the Carolina Panthers actually invited him to come perform at the game this past season. And he's also, since then, he's performed at the Charlotte Hornets game. He's in the Clemson game, and he performs at halftime. And he's just a cool guy. He's an older gentleman, and he's just living his best life. And it was so cool that he turned his like songwriting, singing passion into something that he loves when it comes to sports. And our next guest, she's a makeup artist that found her way doing glam for a bunch of wives and girlfriends of athletes, especially in the football scene. And then the episode that came out this week was a girl that's really highlighting women's basketball, amplifying women's basketball voices. And she's a founder of a company called Domcore, which aims to, it's like a media and an apparel company. But she kind of like gave me some game on women's basketball and kind of was talking about the state of the WNBA right now. And we put some clips up on our Instagram. So you should definitely go check it out at Behind the Sports Show. But yeah, those are just the first three guests of this season. And again, very untraditional pathways. But it's really been cool to share those stories. And again, that's what BTS is all about. It's going behind the sport and giving you the stories that you wouldn't typically hear.
Right. So those untold stories, that's what it seemed like it is. And it's, as you said, the relaunch of new themes, untold stories. What else are you most excited about to bring to the audience for? Don't want to give too much out because you said you got your guest list for the rest of the month. But anything that you're most excited about to bring to the fans and the audience with the relaunch?
Oh, I would just say it's so diverse this season. I It's funny because I feel like the last two episodes and the episode that will come out next week is very style focused. So very fashion forward, stylistic, and the type of people that I talk about. But after that, it's going to be a lot of athletes that are one of them is doing something really big, right? Or starting tomorrow, we'll be doing something really big. So that kind of can give you a hint as to who she is. But yeah, it's just so diverse, and the type of people that are coming on the show, they're so diverse, and it's all different facets of the industry. Which also at the end of the episodes, I always like to ask my guests, like, what piece of advice could you give to people that want to be in your shoes, or that want to have the job that you have? And I think that's another little piece of BTS that's really cool, is because a lot of people might listen and be like, hey, that's a sports agent. I really want to be a sports agent, but I don't want to do the traditional route. I don't want to go to law school, but how can I get around that? How can I market myself? How can I use NIL and educate athletes to my benefit? Just things like that. So yeah, very excited.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be, like you said, an exciting year for you and with the podcast. So congratulations on relaunching it first and
Thank
foremost
you.
on that. And talk about, like you said, the guests. I'm always interested in the guests that podcasts have, and because we always look at different podcasts, like, man, they had this guest, they had this person, they had that person,
Yeah.
and everything too. So how do you what's your method or reaching out to guests, and what do you look for to is there anything that that you do, and who you look for your guests when you have one on the show?
Yeah, a lot of the recent guests that I've had have just been, I find them on Instagram or on TikTok, and I have, a shot and a dream sliding into their DMs and hope
Yeah.
that they answer.
Yes.
And that's really the way. Or, the one of the girls, the episode that'll come out this Tuesday, we genuinely became friends. We connected on TikTok, started following each other, supporting each other, commenting and liking each other's videos. We're like, oh my gosh, girl, this is so cool. And after about a couple of weeks of doing that, I finally reached out to her and I'm like, do you want to come on my podcast? Like, I
Yeah.
would love to actually chat with you. And she was like, oh my gosh, yes. And so she calls me, and I say this in my intro and in the episode, we talked for literally like an hour and a half, our first conversation. Like, we clicked immediately. And that wasn't even
Wow.
the interview, that was just a phone call. And I was like, yeah, she's my girl. So she's actually probably going to be doing a couple BTS episodes, showing up here every now and then during the season.
Right.
But yeah, I just reach out to people. It looks a lot different too, because when I did BTS on the radio, I had a network behind me. So even though
Mm,
I was still cold calling and cold emailing people, they would also have guests that were pitched to me. And so it was
right.
a little easier in that sense. But now, one woman show, got to figure it out.
Right.
And
You're the
it's
booking
literally,
agent.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly, exactly. But social media is such a beautiful thing, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
negative toxicity in it, but there's so many beautiful things, and you meet so many beautiful people when you can utilize it the right way. And so, yeah, I've been very blessed to have that connection on TikTok and Instagram's platform.
That's a good point because I think, as you said, when you have a platform or a podcast, and especially what we do everything.
Mhm.
We're the camera, we have the the lighting, we we're the producer, we're the host, and we do all everything.
Like, content creator,
Booking,
yeah.
content creator, we do the booking and everything. And I love it because, like you said, I can reach out to anybody and anytime. However, as you said, through social media, but a good point you said about social media when it's used the right way, and that's the great way to use it, is to network and is to reach out to people. And I always say, people always ask for advice. Oh, well, how do you get so many guests? And they might say, no, I'm scared to ask. I was like, just do it. Just if you get their email, or if you said, yeah, slide in their DMs or anything like that, or if you just send a post or whatever, it's just like a private DM, send it to them and just be respectful and just say, hey, the worst they can say is no, and I don't take it personal or anything like that. Or if they don't answer it, I don't take it personal either. I tell that all the time when people ask about that, about guests. And they say, you got so many guests, you have so many. It's like, I just reach out.
I just do
That's
it.
it. You
Yeah.
got to do it. Don't scared. Is to send your pitch for the show, and then boom. So you're right. I think DMs, email. If you have to, call them, text, all those things. Yeah. That's the best way. Actually do it. Yeah, I still email. If I ask for an email, it's like, hey, I'm just reaching out. Sometimes you got to go through their agent or
Right,
publicist or stuff like that.
right.
But a lot of times I just go right to the
Right to the
person if I
source.
can, right to the source. Yeah, right to the source and tell them. But I always find it interesting how you said using social media in the right way. Besides the negativity and toxicity of it, that's the best way to use it.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. And like, it's hard because I feel like a lot of people get discouraged
Hmm.
when there's comments, or when there's toxic behavior going on social media.
Right.
But I feel like when you receive that and when you get that, that's how you know when you got something good. That's how
Mm,
you know when you got something great. And so literally all of my guests have been a couple of them have been people that I know in real life and know in person.
right.
But a lot of them have been people that I've met on social media. So it's been
Yeah,
awesome.
and I think it's like 80% or something like that, maybe higher, that also that you meet on social media. Like I said, I've had some of my friends that jumped on and people I've networked and connected with in person.
Right.
And I think that's a good thing to have too. But 75-80% is people that you just network and connected with on social media, and there's so many platforms now. I mean, LinkedIn is another one that's a real good to reach out to because people are looking for work and things like that, or they're saying, hey, I want to be on a podcast. Like I'm looking for to be a guest on podcast. I'd say, okay, hey, if we can make it a line and it fits, let's do it. So I think
Yeah.
LinkedIn is another avenue that you can look for certain guests as well. But yeah, I'm very excited for that the relaunch of BTS for you, and looking forward to see who else you have. Then I can look and see some of the guests you have. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna snatch that person. I think that's what it's about too. It's about you
Yes.
have certain
Yes.
guests. You're like, oh my goodness, Giovanna had she had this person. okay, I'm gonna reach out now and
Yes.
see. I never, I've loved the what they said on your show and things like that. So I think that's a really good way to do it as well. So but gotta ask you about Super Bowl. You were there at the Super Bowl, your first Super Bowl, you
Yes.
experienced your first Super Bowl week. When you look back, uh, what did you think of Super Bowl and the media role? I know you were asking me, was I going, and I didn't get a chance to go this year, but what you think of your first media role and everything and your experience?
Yeah, first, like, I was absolutely, so
Mm,
blessed, like, nothing but God. So a girl, and
yes.
I'm you are really good friends of yours as well. I actually know her through you, but, goes by sports reporter Deb, on
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That
Instagram.
Wickers.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Hmm.
so I reached out to her, and I was like, "I love what you're doing. I want to, like, use me as your clay and mold me into, uh,
Yes.
sports reporting crazy god or whatever." And so she, really helped me get to the Super Bowl and got me into some really cool spaces. I did it wrong though. Unfortunately, I was only there. I flew into San Fran from Dallas, where I'm based out of, on Saturday morning. Um,
Okay.
so and then the next day was Sunday, the Super Bowl. So I did it a little wrong. I needed to go the whole week, and now I know for the next time that you got to go the whole week. But
Right.
still, such a cool experience. Saw so many people. There was a video of, I don't know if you heard the career ladder. It's this guy on TikTok that
Yes.
does, like,
Yep.
yeah. So his videos from Super Bowl, I was actually standing right there when they set up, and I saw them post and film the whole thing. They had Miles Garrett on there, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And then the whole Super Bowl experience was very, very well done. I was kind of overwhelmed, all the activations and all the things.
Yes.
I have so much content from that weekend that I still have yet to post. But it was such a good experience, and again, just very, very blessed to even be in that kind of space, at 24, 25 years old. So yes, very
Yeah,
cool.
that is cool. I mean, shout out to Deb Wickes, from the Blonde Blitz and the sports reporter
Yeah, I love
herself.
her.
Sports reporter Deb, she good friend of mine, and yeah, she definitely has helped out, and we've been on each other's shows, and she's all over the place. I mean,
Yeah.
she was at Super Bowl, she was at the combine like
Yeah.
2 weeks later or a week later and everything too. And she reached out and said, "Oh, you're missed here." I was like, "I know." I said, "I know. You don't have to tell me. I do." Because once you get that taste of it, it's like, oh, but it gets expensive. It
Yeah.
does. So I got to prioritize that. Because I didn't go last year. I was in 2020, would it be? Oh, geez, 23, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was 2023 because I went when it was in Vegas, 24. So, yeah,
Mhm.
so it was 2024. So, yeah, that was my first time. And you're right, it's a lot. It could be Super Bowl me a row, and you just went to one day. So, I was there from
Exactly.
Monday to is it Monday? Yeah, Monday to Thursday or
Yeah.
Friday. Monday to Friday, I was there. I left on Friday. So, I was there all week during that week. And yes, like you said, all the activation, it's just busy, busy, busy. And even Friday itself is you said you went Saturday. So Saturday, I didn't go Saturday, but Friday's busy. I know it slows down, but
Yeah.
midweek, oh, it is really like pandemonium for real. It's I mean, it's a who's who of celebrities for sure.
Yeah, all the biggest sports shows, all the, like, just all the athletes, not even NFL athletes. I feel like there was a lot of other athletes, and flag
Yeah.
football was such a main focus this year, which
Hmm.
I really, really loved. And the celebrity game, Drewski and all those cats doing
Oh
flag
yeah,
football
yeah.
was really fun to see and experience. But yeah, it's always a lot, but it's only gonna get better from here. The game, I have my thoughts on. The game was probably a dud, but
Yeah, it definitely was a dud. But the leading up to the week is always the best because then you have if you go throughout the week, you got opening night with the teams on the field. You get
mhm,
a chance. I mean, that's busy and hectic because it's all the media and all the content creators and things trying to get interviews and questions and things like that. And then uh, the second night is the media party. That was
right.
fun. That was a lot of fun. And then the third night, I mean, meet at Rose all week, but the third and Wednesday and Thursdays usually are the busiest because that's what you said. It's celebrities, it's people, it's like I said, football players, it's football athletes, it's basketball athletes, a lot of athletes, entertainers. There's a lot of different people, and
Yeah.
you just get a chance. You're like, oh my goodness, there's such and everything too. Media, yeah, it's a lot, but it's a if you get a chance, anybody that's in doesn't want to get a chance to be out there, definitely, I would say definitely do it. Try to get a credential and even if it's just for one day,
Yeah.
totally do it because you will have a good experience. But speaking of the Super Bowl, what'd you think of the game? Like you said, it was a dud. I mean, Seattle basically just ran right through the Patriots, and once they were up, it was field goal after field goal after field goal. And once they got up 12-0, and then I think it was 19-0 or 19-3, I was like, yeah, it's over. The Patriots have no chance. They just Seattle's defense was so dominant, they had no chance.
Oh,
But it was definitely, if you were looking for offense, you just didn't get it. But what'd you think of the game in itself?
yeah, I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. I knew Seattle was gonna go in there and get the job done. I was
Mhm.
rooting for Sam Darnold in this one and JSN, and I love what Seattle has to offer. And I you can't see it right now, but I have a D Tank statue right here, even though he's no longer a Cowboys. I am a huge fan of DeMarcus Lawrence, and I was
Yeah,
happy to see him win
get a Super Bowl
um,
ring. Yep.
at the least. So I just knew that defense, like Drake May and the Patriots, what they've done was very cool. But I had some questions going into the postseason of the Patriots, and I mean them defeating arguably outside of Seattle's defense, they defeated probably the two other best defenses in the league. Not by a lot, but they still got the job done.
Yeah.
And those games, in my opinion, could have gone a lot differently though if there was other factors. So again, I knew Seattle was going to go there and get the job done. I actually was rooting for Mike Vrabel. If there's anybody I was rooting for, it was definitely Mike Vrabel in this whole thing. I think he is an amazing coach. I think he's really good for the Patriots organization. Outside of Mike Vrabel, I wanted Liam Cohen to win Coach of the Year.
Oh
Um,
yes,
but
yes.
considering Mike got to the Super Bowl, had to. So yeah, it was a tough, bad game, but I kind of saw it coming.
Yeah, I was pulling. It's interesting because I knew both defenses were really good. So
Mm.
I thought I said it was going to be low scoring. I actually did have New England. I thought for sure. Okay, Drake May, even though he's young, I felt like he could overcome but I guess the lights were just too bright for him at this point. I mean, he's still young. And Seattle's
So
defense,
young.
it was much better than I guess I expected. I mean, I knew all year they had good defense, really, I mean, really good defense and everything too, but so did the Patriots. So when it was 12-0, I thought, okay, can the Patriots get something done? Can they get something? But they couldn't move the ball. They could not move the football, and they pressured Drake May, and as I said, the inexperience. But it was a great successful year for the Patriots as well. Both teams really, and because they both didn't make the playoffs. They both were terrible last year, and
Yeah.
then this year they get to the Super Bowl. It was two different teams, and Seattle just that defense was just dominant and they made enough plays on offense. They moved the ball, made enough plays on offense, got field goals and things like that. Kenneth Walker had a tremendous game,
Yeah.
and he might not even be a Seahawk. So that's a whole
No,
nother
the
thing.
movement in the league around the
Yeah.
NFL, I try when the NFL season is over, I really try to highlight other sports because like
Yes.
BTS is all sports podcast, but I'm a football girl through and through. I grew like
Right.
I'm from Texas. You see the Cowboy, like I love
Right.
me some football, even though I grew up watching basketball. That's a different story for a different time. I love me some football, so it's hard for me to like get out of the football mode because I just constantly
Yes.
thrown back in it. But hearing the news that Stephon Diggs is no longer going to be on the Patriots team
Right.
didn't come as a shock to me because I felt like you have people like Keyshawn Booty and Douglas on that team, Hunter Henry, like those
Yeah.
players kind of outperformed and outproduced Stephon in a lot of games and maybe overall in the season. So I think the Patriots are still trying to figure that kind of offensive scheme out, considering that their schedule it was easy. It really was easy this past season. And I think Mike and that Patriots organization, they're trying to figure out what's gonna that offense is going to look like. Now that Drake May has really good post-season experience too. So we'll see.
Right. Yeah, and it was good. Like I said, he's only 23,
Yeah,
and
he's younger
he's
than
gonna
me. It's crazy.
right, right. And so he's good. They got a really good shot. And now he's, I'm an Eagles fan, so they're the old AJ Brown rumor,
Yeah,
maybe playing with Ray, but I got mixed feelings on losing AJ Brown. Just it's hard to lose that type of talent.
yeah.
And he never said he wanted out. He never said that.
He
And I
just
don't
wants the
think
ball.
he just and then the Eagles don't want to really trade him. I know High Roller does not really want to trade him, and that's why I think they put they put that the draft picks. They want high draft picks. They want a player and everything. So to get him, you're gonna have to give a ransom. And now teams are like, well, we don't know. AJ's 29. He's still got a bad knee, but he's still super talented. So
Yeah,
the Eagles, I think that's why they put the premium up high for what they want, so they can get teams backed away. So we'll see, because free agency start next week. We've already seen some moves already for the NFL.
yeah.
And as you said, it's hard to get out of the NFL mode, because you go from Super Bowl to the combine to the free
Draft.
agency, then the draft,
Yeah,
and
this
then
is
next
how
thing
they
you
get
know,
us. They
yeah,
know
they
what
get us
they're
every time.
doing. They
Every
know what
time.
they're doing.
Yes, every single time. Every year it's this way, and it's just that's a 365 the sport for like
Yeah,
it's every week. And now, like you said, I think they're starting on the 9th. That's when you could do your tampering now and all this stuff. But we've already had trades and moves. So it's yeah, so I'll be on my phone, just probably like you, just getting these alerts, what our teams are gonna do and
yeah,
everything. So we'll see what happens with the NFL. But you talked about a little bit about, I want to ask you about the WNBA, and you said your previous show, you guys talked about this with this collective bargaining agreement. And do you feel like there's going to be a season with the negotiations? And now there's mixed messages of some of the players union. They're seem like they're at odds now, and I don't know what to believe and who to believe. But March
yeah.
10th is a hard deadline if they thinking about having a full season. So are you optimistic that the season will start on time, or will there be a season?
Based on what I've seen, and honestly, I've stayed away from mainstream media when it
Mm,
comes to this topic.
yes.
A lot of the information I've received have been from people that my interview, or people that I follow on TikTok that follow the W very closely. Um, Based on that information, I am not optimistic at all that the season is
Yeah.
gonna start, or there even is gonna be a season. There was a moment in our interview that I was like, I, I I'm kind of at a loss for words, because is there even going to be a WNBA this year? And will there continue to be a WNBA?
Mm,
Because
yeah.
this moment, this is a history type of moment for this league. And
Yes.
when you have the caliber of players and how they're unhappy, and my interview told me that, like, when ESPN released their viewership and like what the W was bringing in,
Yeah.
like, that is proof enough for these players that they are valuable and they are worth so much more
Absolutely.
than what they're getting. And I agree with them. Now I get it, there's a business behind it, but at this point, it's bigger than just being a woman. It has to be, I'm a human, I bring value, I add value to what
Yeah.
you're doing, and that it should be a period. There shouldn't be because I'm black, because I'm white, because I'm a woman, because I'm male. That it just should be a period right there. And that's what's kind of frustrating when you think about this whole situation. But I don't know. There's a lot of other great things going on. I mean, unrivaled, the buy-in from people that I've
Mhm.
seen from Unrivaled, and
Yes.
people that are just like all in on the one-on-one and the three-on-three tournaments and everything that they're doing, has been amazing. And I'm like, well, do you even need a WNBA? Because if Unrivaled's killing it, and then you got players going overseas,
Yeah.
and then there's a bunch of other leagues kind of popping up that are offering these players millions.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's messy. It's
It is
messy.
very messy. That's the yes, it is messy. Interesting. I've been locked in, uh, talking with talking with a few people here and there, and even yes, I've been locked in Unrivaled, and I was at the Philly Unrivaled
I
here.
saw that. Yeah.
Got to do some media things with them, and it was interesting talking with some of the media people there, and we were just chatting about it, and even talking like some of the athletes there. Natasha Cloud had said that, and this is now a month ago, and she was just saying how, we know our worth and we need to be paid, and we agreed 100%. He said, yes, it's a business, but these women need to be paid because the momentum and like you said, that report comes out on ESPN with the revenue share, and this is what the league was talking about. Like they're losing, thinking they're losing money. No, you're gaining money. And I think the worst thing is if they do lock out and they got less than a week, if they lock out, it's going to be hard to earn that trust with the fans and earn that back, that momentum, that momentum stops. You just, that's going to be hard to get back. Now you still have the players, still have the star caliber players, and the league in itself. This is the premium league for women's basketball for sure.
Mhm.
But as you said, now you got other leagues stepping on, unrivaled. They talked about this, I think, in the press conference a couple of days ago. They were saying, the president and the GM and the president was saying that, hey, we can still give this so much money. I mean, Unrivaled just ended yesterday, and it was $600,000. So each player gets 100K, and so that's, they're like, hey, we're just getting money. We're just trying to. Brianna Stewart, she's going overseas, is getting more money and more opportunity. So, but they want to play. These women want to play. They want to get paid. They want to play. So, yeah, I was optimistic maybe last week, but now I'm like, I don't know.
Time's a
I really
ticking.
don't know. Time is ticking. It's at the 11th. They say 11th hour. It's at the 11 and a half hour because
We are in overtime right now.
you're
It's
overtime now.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's not good, and I mean, I keep referencing the episode. If you have to go listen to it, Olivia, she's
Yeah.
amazing. But she was talking about something that I've never really thought about in terms of elevating women's basketball. And she was saying that when you look at women's basketball and you compare the W to the NBA, like everything from the merch to the in-game experiences to the promoting, I know like a couple of the new teams that are coming on board, which that's also a scary thing thinking about this whole season with these new teams.
Yes. Absolutely.
But with the new teams coming on board, she was like the social media marketing behind what they've been putting out just didn't feel elevated enough to her. And when she said that,
Mm.
I was like, that is so interesting because
Yeah.
I agree with that in terms of the there would be so much more buy-in, and I'm sure there's so much more like sales and when it comes to people, fans buying merch,
Yeah.
and watching on social media if it was a little bit more elevated. And she brought up some great points, and I never really thought about it like that. So go listen to the episode. It's a great episode.
Yeah, I'll definitely listen to it. Yeah, and I'm like I said, I've been kind of just I've been trying to stay away from because it says negotiations. There's a lot of language in the, and you're
Lot.
thinking, okay, what revenue share and all these things. But then I keep getting the emails and the alerts. It's hard not to. And now people are speaking out, and they know that, I know Kelsey Plum and Brianna Stewart just talked about, we need a season, and it's like, oh yeah, you do, but I did say also, I said, I think it'll get past this deadline. I hope it doesn't. And then I think it'll lead into, I think there will be a season, but I feel like it's going to start later because, like you said, you got two expansion teams, Portland and Toronto. You gotta have that. You gotta have the expansion draft. You gotta have the regular. You gotta have the free agency. You gotta have that period because 95% of the league is free agents. It's gonna be a madhouse. It's gonna be
It's
just a like
so
a just
messy.
it's gonna be very messy. It's gonna be just everybody. So you gotta have that. Then you also gotta have the draft after the college season. Gotta have the draft and then training camp. So it's gonna be like a. They said they can get it done if they get a deal done on the 10th, and then they're able to on the 30th. That's when the deal will be officially done. But
Right.
then it's like April's just gonna be week to week to week. But that's a good point of what you said about with the expansion teams and being able to promote. They won't have a lot of time. So maybe the marketing teams of the marketing departments of all those teams, they're ready to when as soon as they get a chance, they gotta just okay, we don't have that time to really like we thought we would have, but we just gotta
Right.
promote anything we can get, merchandise, anything, sponsorships, all those things. They got to
Yeah.
just
It
do
puts
it. So
everyone in a pickle. And as a
it
Dallas
does.
Wings fan, we need the draft to happen so we can get that number one pick again.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah. So it's gonna be, yeah. We'll see. I mean, they got less, like you said, less than a week, what, five
Yeah.
days, so 6 days. So we'll there's gonna be, I'm sure there's gonna be news. They said they're negotiating, so they could get it done. I think at the end of the day, I think for both parties, the league in itself and the owners and the WNBA, if if what's best is get a deal done and get it
Mhm.
done and make sure it's done fairly.
Yeah.
And somebody's gonna have to, they're gonna have to compromise. There's gonna be some compromise on both sides, and they're both dug in, but usually it's somebody's gonna have to compromise. Both sides have to compromise and get this season done because it benefits both for
Right.
sure and
Right.
everything too. All right, last question. I'm so glad to have you back on, like I said. And last question, since it is Women's History Month and you're part of the series, and I love having you on and everything too. But what does Women's History Month mean to you on a personal and professional professional level?
Yeah, I mean, when I think of women, I immediately think of my mom. Our relationship is like probably the best thing that I have in terms of a role model and in terms of someone that like I felt like I got a lot of my skill set after. So
Mm,
Women's History Month always just makes me think of my mom and being so proud of her. She's an entrepreneur. She's runs her own company and's been doing that for a while now, and she has worn many different hats in her job career. So it just makes me very thankful for that. But I also tend to think about just all of the women I've met along the way when it comes to sports journey. And there's been some disappointing moments and people that, I thought, were supporting me and not, but there's always, it comes always back around again when I
yeah,
find other women and other girls in the industry or not even in the industry that just are constantly supporting and constantly shouting out and constantly checking in on you and like just a friend. And I think that's what makes being a woman in this world right now just so beautiful is because we always find something to connect on and relate to,
yeah,
girl things and stuff like that. But it's also really awesome for men like you, and I want to applaud you because I often think men, there's some bad men out there, but men do get the short end of the stick. And I feel like sometimes as women, we fall into the mindset of, oh, all men are bad and all men don't support women and things like that. So I want to definitely applaud you for even doing a series like this um, as a male and wanting to feature women because it's really great. And there's a bunch of other guys out there in the world like you, and so shout out to them too. It's awesome.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate that as you said, you women supporting women and in the industry, and I know you mentioned that a lot as well throughout your journey. And as you said, it starts with your mom, and then all the women you've met and networked with. And as you said, I like I said, I do my part as much as I can to, as you said, to feature and highlight incredible women like yourself, and to keep doing your thing. And they said many blessings to you moving forward as well. So, but let everyone know before we go, let everyone know where they can follow you, follow the podcast, where you might be next. You could be on site somewhere, doing the show or interviewing and everything too. We talked about the interviews and stuff, but I can't thank you enough myself for except just being part of this. And as I said, I wanted to feature you on this series, and so I really do appreciate that and everything. So, but everyone know where they can follow you on social media.
Yeah, of course. So you can follow me personally at Giovanna Scroggins on TikTok and Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all the things. You can follow BTS, my show, at Behind the Sports Show, where we do have a YouTube channel, mainly posting all of our long form content on YouTube, but you can also listen to podcasts wherever you get them: Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you want to listen to your podcasts. Behind the Sports Show. And that tag handle is also TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of the above. And yeah, it's been an honor, and I've been very blessed. Remember that Jesus loves you, and it's
Yes.
gonna be a good good year for everybody. We're rooting for everybody.
Yes, absolutely. We need that for
Yeah.
sure. Yes, yes. I think, yes, we need, everybody needs Jesus in their life for sure. For yeah, a
Go
little bit
pray.
of
Did you
Jesus
pray
in their
today?
life, a little bit of prayer. Yes. But yes, Giovanna, thank you again. Like I said, I can't thank you enough for being part of this. And again, it will be a great year. And like I said, I'm looking forward to see what you got coming up on the show, and really appreciate it.
Yes, appreciate you, Courtney.
All right. Thank you. All right. You have a good one, and enjoy the weekend, and should be some good weather. I think coming up. Well, you probably have some good weather, I'm sure.
It's actually like thunderstorm season. My
Oh,
birthday's coming up. My birthday's this coming Monday, and
oh,
so
well,
I'm going up
happy
to
early birthday.
Oklahoma. Thank you. I'm going up to
Yeah.
Oklahoma for the weekend with some friends, and it's gonna be thunderstorms, but that's
Ooh.
just Texas. Texas in
Yeah,
this
Texas
area, so
weather
we're
is,
used to it.
yes. Right, right. We've been having a lot of rain here in Philly, but it's supposed to get into the 60s, so that's gonna be good for
Yeah,
the weekend and the rest of the next week.
there you
So
go.
the way it's been super cold and snow. I'll take 50 and 60
Any
anytime,
day. Yeah.
any day right now. So in March. So, but yeah, but enjoy your birthday weekend, and
Thank you.
happy birthday, happy early birthday, and then we'll talk soon.
Yes, of course. Thanks, Courtney.
All right, have a good one.